have two girls that I needed to support. I was divorced, living with my parents. Here I am, 43 years old at the time. You know, I needed to get my life back together, not only for myself, but for my children. You have to understand, I lost everything. From everything I own, my friends, all I had, and all you will ever have is your mom and dad. And they were there, they pushed me. My kids pushed me. I'd hear comments every now and then, you know, like, oh, she's not gonna make it, you know, she's not gonna be here much longer. And honestly, deep down inside, I didn't know where I was heading. I didn't know what was gonna happen to me, but I didn't let that stop me. I just kept moving and just kept going. It's kind of hard for me to talk about, but I'm willing to talk about it. I want to talk about it. It helps me. So they came after me with 18 counts of wire fraud and 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud. They only charged me for conspiracy to commit wire fraud. June of 2018, I had to go in front of the federal judge and get sentenced. I did time computation for 12 years at the state, so I knew how sentencing worked. Federal, when you get sentenced, you have to serve the time. It's not up to the prosecutor. It's not up to your attorney. It's not up to who you know, how you know them. It's up to the judge. And I had to write a letter. Jennifer helped me. And I went into court that day. I worked the day before, knowing what I had to face the following day. Still came to work. I still held my head up high. I still put one foot in front of the other. Didn't know where my life was going. Didn't know how long I was going to be sentenced for. Went in that courtroom and I sat at that table and I read my letter. When I looked up, the judge was crying. I heard my mom and dad cry. And I heard them walk out the courtroom. He sentenced me to 8 months. I didn't know what to do. All I could think of was my kids. I got in my car and I went home. I got my uniform ready to come back the next day to work because I was going to work. Because all I had was the Walker family and my family. I got the phone call that afternoon saying that I wasn't allowed back over here, that I had to resign. So I thought I lost my job again until Brandon, Mr. John, all my coworkers over here called me and told me to keep my head up. That Mr. John fought for me. And he promised me that he would have my job when I got back. He called me just about every day. He inspired me. Brandon, Jennifer, Derek, they just told me to keep my head up, that I was a strong person. They saw stuff in me, things in me that I guess that I never saw. I made my kids each a portfolio of the 8 months that I was going to be away, and I put a picture of each month. I wrote on there, just don't think that, Mom forgot this month's your birthday. I miss both my kids' birthdays. I miss all their functions. But I told them before I left, I said every night at 8:30, go outside and look at the moon. And I promise you, Mom will be standing outside looking at that same moon with you. Letters that everyone here wrote that obviously I never got because, it only has to be on certain paper or whatever, but, Mr. John kept them all. And he delivered it to me, handed it to me when I came back. Until today, it's riding with me in my car. I wasn't out an hour. Devin texted me. Mr. John called me. Brandon called me. Made me feel good. Came back. My name was still on the phone. My desk was still waiting on me. And Mr. Mike, Mr. Mike's been good to me. They kept calling me, like, you ready, you ready, you ready? And I'm like, yes, I am ready. I am ready to shine. Got back March 19th, and I started back work here March 29th. Everything was behind me now. I did what I had to do. God sat me down for 8 months, and I was not gonna sit home. I wanted to come out and get back on the floor, get back on the lot, keep my head up, because it's over. It was over. Get out there and hustle. Is it hard? Some days, yes. No matter what life throws at you, you can still do it. You can still move on. You can still hold your head up. You can still put that one foot in front of the other. And my dad's favorite saying is when you put your mind to it. Don't let no one, nothing, no situation say you can't do something that you know you can and achieve.